Okay, so it's time to put the bones in the character so we can animate it. To do that, then let's go bring up our character. Let's save this as something new. So we're going to call it Lego-rigging and save it there. All right, we're ready to go. Let's get rid of the center window. So what you do is you drag that little piece, and now it's just a centered portion. We're in ortho right to here. What we want to do is want to reset orientation to the center, and we're going to apply the transforms. So for that, let's get our cursor to the center. Control S, and we want the cursor to center. And then we're going to set the pivot to that. So we're going to hit N to turn off this side, T to get our tools, go to the pivot point, and then set the origin to the 3D cursor. Of course, we want to make sure the character is on the ground plane at 0, 0, 0. Okay, so we've done that previously. Should still be there, but just double check that he's on the ground plane, and this will become the pivot point for the character itself. So, all right, so we've got that. Another piece that we want to do, object, go to apply, and rotation and scale. We're going to change over to that. What's going to happen is that this will reset all to zeros and scale up 1. We need that, otherwise it won't export correctly. Okay, so let's do the bones portion. So we centered it, Shift A. So let's go ahead, hit, I'm going to hit T and N to get rid of that. And to add a single bone, we hit Shift A. And we're going to go to armature, single bone. Okay, so there's the bone itself. Let's go to the side view. Let's take a look at this. Zoom it back. I'm going to drag it up into there. It's actually, and one thing that we do want to turn on, bring this over, armature display right here, scroll down, and we want to turn on X-ray. Okay, so let's reorient that bone again. I'm going to make sure I'm in ortho so it looks correct. I'm going to bring the bottom portion up into the character. So we want about groin height. And the top, we're going to take this portion of it and just scale it down somewhere about there. And then let's go to the side, just make sure it's dead center to the character. So how does that look? Good. All right, with this bone still selected, if I hit extrude, I should get another bone. Oh, make sure you're not in object mode. We want to be in edit mode. Extrude. We'll get another bone. Let's double check it from this side view. Looks good. And then let's extrude up, and let's get, I'm going to take it just outside to the top of the head. So these bones are actually all attached. I'm just going to edit this one. I actually think this bottom portion here should go further up. So there's going to be a bend there and possibly a bend in here. So let's get, let's just bring this part up. So somewhere in that region makes most sense, and keep it straight up and down. And let's edit this one here. So I'm just right clicking in that to get the ball towards the top. Okay, so let's do the arm on this side. Make sure it's this side. We'll flip bones, copy and flip bones afterwards. So for this piece then, I'm going to bring my cursor there. So you just left click. That's probably a good pivot point for the cursor. So if I hit Shift A, it's going to create a bone. I'm going to just take this portion, hit G, just with the end just selected. And we really want it about the midsection of this arm. So let's bring it over. Take a look. Yeah, it's about the bend point. Let's take a look at the top point. You can see the whole bone's in the wrong location. It should be right in here. Okay. I'm going to add a little bend to it, but you don't want to have too much of a bend to this one here. So let's hit extrude. We'll get it to about this portion there, and then let's just do one bone for the hand. Right to there. Let's take a look. Looks pretty good. Turn it. Looks good. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing then for the leg. All right, so hitting this portion here. Nothing selected. That portion. Leg mesh. Let's go to Shift A. We've got a bone. Let's hit G. Bring it downwards. So we're going to allow the character's legs to actually bend. I know Lego legs don't really do that, but this makes sense. So I'm going to bring this back. I do want it straight up and down. Well, not quite straight up and down. You can have a little bit of a bend to this. All right, let's just go into here. All right, now if I was going to use this for a bend, I think what we'll have to do is just add a little bit more geometry to our leg. So what I'm going to do for the leg itself, because I do want to have this bend, I'm going to go back into this. We're going to go out of the armature, and I'm going to select the Lego mesh. Okay, so I'm out of armature temporarily because I do want the legs to bend themselves, and you have to have cross sections to do that. So I'm going to actually select the model. Let's it's all selected. Let's go into edit mode, not edit mode, or tab to edit mode. Let's hit Control R, and let's add. So if you hit Control R and then use the wheel mouse, and I think what we'll do is put them right in about there. Okay, and the reason why I'm doing this is to allow for some bend. So I'll do the same thing on this side. So clicking on Control R and adding 3, and then about the same location right to there. Let's move this up so we match both sides. Okay, so it's just going to allow the legs to bend. All right, so let's go back to our armature. So we're out of edit mode to objects. Let's go to armature. Got this one. We want this bone selected. Make sure I'm in edit mode here, and go from the front. So what we'll do is we'll have a smaller bone here, so we'll extrude down. It's kind of an ankle bone, and then I'm going to go to the side here and hit E, and this is the foot. And I think for this one, we're just going to bring this up and back like that. A little bend here is helpful for this. Okay. All right, so that would be the foot bone there. We're okay. Good. All right, so we do want these ones straight up and down so that they copy correct. So from the front view, I'm going to select this one. I'm going to hit Shift, select this one. I'm going to hit S, X, and 0. And what that does is gets these ups, and then press Enter to finish it. So they're straight up and down. So if you look at it, still okay there. We got the bend, but now they're perfectly straight up and down. We need that for when we copy them and paste them to the other side. Let's do the same thing for this set here. So we're going to select them all using the Shift key. Remember, you're in edit mode. Press S, X, 0. Press Enter. And now they're straight up and down. Okay, let's name the bones. Please use the same naming convention. It just helps make it consistent when we bring it into the game. It also, some of these names will be helpful when we copy these bones and paste them onto the opposite side. So for this portion then, got this here. I'm in the bones area here. If I select a bone, this is the current bone here. Let's call this one torso. And then we're going to name this bone. Remember, right click to select. And let's call this one chest. And then let's get this bone and let's call it head. And then let's go to this bone here and we'll call it upper. arm dot L, just like that. It's important because we'll use that for copying and flipping. Okay, so make sure it's upper arm dot L with a capital letter. All right, so then we're going to do this one here, and again, lower arm dot L with a capital letter. And then let's go, and I know this is claw, but we'll call it hand dot L. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here, and it's going to be called upper leg dot L. And then we'll call this one lower leg dot L. Lower leg dot L. And then we've got the last part, which is, I'm going to go to the side view, having trouble selecting it. There it is there. And I'm going to call this foot dot L. What we're going to do is we're going to parent this bone here. So we're going to actually make sure that we're selected our armature, which is right here. We're in object mode. We'll go into edit mode right here. I'm going to click this one, and then I'm going to shift. So I've got the upper leg selected. I'm going to shift right click to get this one here, and then I'm going to hit Control P, keep offset, Control P. So what we're doing is parenting it. Okay, so you'll see a little dotted line that shows up on this. That's what we want, is this parenting. So, and if I can kind of show you what's going on over here, we have the torso, and underneath the torso now is the upper leg, because the torso will be used to kind of move the whole character around, and when you move the torso, the leg should go with it. So right now, if I show you the indent here, we got the torso, but we haven't done it with the upper arm. So we want to do the same thing. So we're going to actually, okay, so let's parent the upper arm to the chest portion. So I right click on the upper arm. I'm going to click on shift, right click to get this one, hit Control P, keep offset. Okay, so we'll see dotted line here, dotted line there. Got that, then you've set this up correctly. And what you'll find now is that under our armature, everything is wrapped into here. So torso is controlling everything. Upper arm, you can see, is right in under the chest. So that's correct. Okay, so we're going to copy these bones over to the opposite side. This is a good time to just save. If something messes up, we want to be able to open it up again quite quickly. We're going to get our cursor back to the center, so Shift C. Oops. In edit mode. Are we in edit mode? Yes. On our armature? Yes. So we want to select all the bones and make sure your cursor's to the center here, but we're going to select all the bones that we want. I'm using the Shift key. I'm right clicking. These are the bones that we would like. All right, now we're going to hit full stop, which is the period key. What that's going to do is change this pivot point to the center. So you see how it jumped to the center there? So if we were to choose rotate right now, rotate off of that. Of course, don't rotate it, but I'm just showing you the pivot points now to the center. Maybe watch this first, okay? Me do it, because this is where you can kind of gimp up. So what I'm going to hit is Shift D, and I've got these here. I'm just going to right click right away. So the bones are on top of the other bones. And then what I'm going to do is, with it still selected, SX -1, and then I press Enter. When you do that, they should be flipped over. Now on the armatures, we want to double check that the naming is correct. You can actually go over here and check flip names, and it would have did that for you. So that would work as well. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so for our last step, what we're going to do is we're going to save again. And then we're going to make sure we're in object mode. We're going to right click on the mesh itself. We're going to then hold Shift key down. We're going to right click on the torso. You'll find that all the bones are selected. We're still in object mode. And then we're going to hit Control P. And then we're going to hit parent with automatic weights right here. Okay. Once you've done that, we go into pose mode. When we move the bone around, if I hit G, the whole model should go. Now don't leave it off to one side, just right click to finish. But if you've done this correctly, that's going to be there. And then if I click on the mesh itself, so I'm going to go back out to edit mode. Or not edit mode, let's go into object mode. Let's select our mesh, select the mesh. You'll look for this icon and you'll find all these groups for each bone in there. Done that, you are correct and you're ready then just to fix some of the bending options. We'll do that in a separate video.